Hello, literature lovers. Welcome to Maravillas de Libros, the channel where books are not only read, but felt. Today we will dive into one of the most moving and symbolic works of the great Gabriel García Márquez, El coronel tiene quien, escriba. A short story, but full of emotions, social criticism, and silent hope. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and turn on the little bell so you don't miss any literary analysis. Now, join me to discover this jewel of Latin American literature. The Silence of the Colonel, a character that resists. The figure of the colonel is the center of the work, an elderly man, a war veteran who lives in extreme poverty while waiting, with admirable stubbornness, for a pension that never arrives. The colonel has no name, and this is no coincidence. He represents so many forgotten by the system, those who fought for a country that then turned its back on them. His silence is not submission, it is resistance. In the midst of misery, hunger, and despair, he keeps his dignity and hope intact. García Márquez builds a stoic, almost quixotic character who embodies the dignity of the human being in the face of the indifference of power. The most tragic thing about the colonel is his waiting. He waits for a letter that should change his destiny, but that letter never arrives. And yet, every Friday he walks to the port as if time stopped to allow him to continue believing. This silence, this endless waiting, becomes a metaphor for institutional oblivion and invisible resistance. 2. Waiting as punishment. Time in the novel, one of the most powerful themes of the book is waiting. The colonel and his wife live in a kind of temporal limbo, where the days seem to repeat themselves without hope or resolution. This waiting becomes a symbol of the silent punishment to which those who have been forgotten by the state are subjected. It is an almost biblical wait, bordering on the absurd, but which also has a profoundly human nuance. García Márquez uses time as a narrative tool to show desperation. There are no grandiose events or dramatic changes. Everything is subtle, routine, and precisely in that routine, in that corroding waiting, the author forces us to reflect on patience, faith, and resignation. Time is not just something that passes, it is something that weighs. And in this novel, time falls on the colonel's shoulders like an unbearable burden. 3. The rooster, symbol of hope and obstinacy. In such a gloomy scenario, García Márquez introduces a strange, almost absurd element, a fighting rooster. This rooster becomes the central symbol of the story. While everyone around the colonel tells him to sell the rooster to get money, he insists on keeping it. The rooster represents much more than a possible victory in a future fight. It is the last thread of hope that sustains the colonel and his wife. The rooster is a living metaphor for the colonel's stubbornness, for his will to believe in something, no matter how small. Even when all seems lost, he bets on the rooster as one who bets on life itself. This common animal becomes an almost sacred symbol, and the fact is that when there is nothing left, even a rooster can be enough to keep the faith. Dignified poverty, the daily life of oblivion. One of the most striking achievements of this work is the way in which García Márquez portrays poverty. There is no exaggerated drama, no unnecessary tears. What there is a harsh, raw, everyday life that slowly crushes the protagonists. The colonel and his wife live almost without food, selling little by little what little they have, but always preserving a minimum of dignity. Poverty here is not shouted, it is whispered. It is a constant, silent presence that conditions every action, every thought. The way in which the author describes the daily routine, the meals without food, the dialogues cut short by fatigue, the empty stares, forces us to look at a reality that is often ignored. It is a poverty that does not seek pity, but understanding. 5. The narrative style, simplicity loaded with meaning. El coronel tiene quien, escriba is a short novel, but profoundly literary. Gabriel García Márquez proves that it doesn't take 500 pages to build a masterpiece. With a sober style, short sentences, and precise dialogues, he manages to convey complex emotions and profound situations. This economy of language is one of the great virtues of the text. Each word is measured, each silence has weight. The narrative does not seek to shine for the decorative, but for the essential. It is as if the language itself were also subject to the colonel's poverty, reduced, contained, but never empty. This stylistic simplicity enhances the emotional charge of the story and turns each page into a small emotional bomb. And so we end this silent but powerful journey through the life of the colonel who has no one to write to him. What did you think of this play? Do you think the rooster represents hope or madness? What would you have done in his place? Leave me your opinion in the comments. I'd love to read it. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and share it with that friend who loves books as much as you do. See you in the next video here at Maravillas de Libros, where every story has something to say, and we're here to listen to it.